What's up, fanatics? Welcome to the channel. So good to have you here. So listen, I wanted to jump on here and talk about Punisher One Last Kill. Wanted to give my thoughts. This is going to be non-spoiler review of the Marvel special presentation that dropped with Jon Bernthal's Punisher. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Give you a little context before we dive into all my thoughts, but essentially, this is a 45-minute show about what Jon Bernthal's Punisher has been up to, kind of also explaining why we don't see him in Daredevil season 2, Daredevil Born Again season 2. And yeah, we get dropped off in the mind of the Punisher. And this is going to be a little difficult because, again, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but let's start with what I like. Then I'll talk about what I didn't like and then my overall rating of it. So, what did I like? It is very, very clear Jon Bernthal's love of this character. It is in every minute of this show. It is clear that he really, truly loves the character and wanted to do something special with this character. And I think he nails it. Acting is great. You really get into the psyche of Frank Castle. There are some appearances, non-spoiler, there are some appearances from different actors and characters that kind of help the story go along. I like the pace of it. I will say it does start off a little slow, but it's intentional and it's worth it and you're into it. But it does start a little slow. But when the violence comes, it comes and does not stop. It is relentless. I've seen it compared to this and I get why. It does give you the raid element vibe to it. If you haven't seen the raid, it also reminded me of Dread, Carl Urban's Dread. So something like that. Not, and again, not to give the story away, but that's the type of action and also setting, if you will, that this movie has or the show has. The violence, when it comes, is earned. And here's what I mean. The whole slow buildup lets you know why the violence happens. So it, in my opinion, it isn't just a movie that is being violent for the sake of being violent. I mean, it is violent, probably the most violent I've seen from Disney in a minute. Maybe not. I don't know, because Daredevil was really violent, and the Punisher series was too. But it is violent, and but the violence is earned because they spend that time in the mind of Frank Castle. The violence is earned. The action is great. It's messy. It's not like overly choreographed to the point where it's like distracting. It's over the top, but definitely over the top in a good way, because again, you are seeing Frank Castle unleashed. So the over the top violence of it all made sense to me. And some of the extreme violence is, again, a byproduct of who Frank Castle is. So when he does the things that he does in this, you're gonna get it, right? So I thought it was fantastic on all those elements. What I didn't like, so what I didn't like is, if you have not watched the Punisher show at all on Netflix, the Netflix Punisher show, you can watch this and not be lost at all. Even in 45 minutes, you understand who Frank Castle is and why he's doing what he's doing. Obviously, you should watch the Netflix Punisher, but you don't have to understand the character and enjoy this. But I will say one of the weaker points of this is that if you did watch the Netflix series, some of the things that they touch on in this, they already touched on in the Netflix series, but they do it so much better in this. So even though it's a weak area, it's not something. So let me take it back. I'm not going to say I didn't like that. I will say it's a little weak area, but in my opinion, because even though it's revisited, they do a better job of vetting this stuff out in the show. So it didn't take away anything to me to a point where I didn't like the show. But, there is a sense of familiarity in this. I'll say that. So I won't say that I didn't like it. There's a sense of I've seen this before, but to me, they do a better job in this special than the part that I'm talking about in the Netflix series. The other thing I didn't like is they introduce a character, and this might be a little spoiler. And I'm going to put up the spoiler sign, but I'm not going to give anything major away. But it might be spoiler ish. So that's your warning. Okay. The Another thing I didn't like is they introduce a character, but you don't get closure uh, when it comes to this character and what they bring to the show. Now, does it kill the experience for me? No. However, Marvel has to revisit this. If they don't, then it's going to be a major ball drop, if you will. Now, I know Marvel has a tendency to introduce things and then ask us to forgive them and forget about it. But this is one of those situations, and I hate that about Marvel, the MCU. But this is one of those instances that they have to revisit. Like they can't just give us this and then walk away from it. So that is something I didn't like. Is that Marvel, the MCU does what the MCU does, and that is introduce this element, this character, but they don't wrap it up. Now, hopefully, it's because they're going to revisit that whole story down the line. And if so, then all is forgiven. But if not, then that is definitely something that I didn't like about the show. So overall, what would I rate this on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 being is trash, skip it. And 5 being is fantastic, it's a must see. I'm gonna give it a 4. And I'm gonna give it a 4 because of what I just said. My main issue with the show. Otherwise, I loved it. I thought it was great. I liked that it was only 45 minutes. I don't feel like it needed to be longer. Well, unless they were going to do more with the story that they don't give us closure on. But if that was just an introduction to more to come, then I'm cool with it. It doesn't need to be a series, even though I will gladly take another series of the Punisher. I do hope that we continue to see John Bernthal's Punisher in the MCU. I know we're getting him in Spider-Man Brand New Day, but this was great, and it just made me want to see more of him. And so I hope we get that. But anyways, those are my thoughts. Yeah, it's a 4 for sure. What do you all think? Did you check it out? Did you love it? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Do me a favor. If you like the content, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe. And hit that little alarm button as well so you can get alerted whenever I post new content. And also, do me a favor, share with other people who you think would like this content as well. We have a big goal of 1,000 subscribers we're trying to get to, and we need your help. Appreciate it. Till the next one. Peace.